Meet Manny, a man who knew the streets of Santo Domingo like the back of his hand. He lived a life of tailored suits, rooftop parties, and rum aged longer than most relationships back in the Bronx. Then, there was Jerome, fresh off the plane, sporting a Yankees cap and a look that screamed, "I'm not sure about this whole island thing." Jerome yearned for the familiar rhythm of the Bronx, the scent of bodega coffee, and the comforting chaos of his neighborhood. Manny, on the other hand, couldn't fathom why anyone would willingly trade paradise for the concrete jungle. Manny navigated the island's social scene with an air of effortless cool, a stark contrast to Jerome's awkward attempts to blend in. He took pride in his heritage, his Spanish smooth as the rum he often enjoyed. Jerome, however, felt like a fish out of water, his Spanish limited to phrases he'd picked up from watching Narcos. Little did they know their paths were about to collide in a most unexpected way. Sosua, with its pristine beaches and vibrant nightlife, was a world away from the gritty reality of the South Bronx. Jerome, overwhelmed by the relentless sunshine and the even more relentless vendors, craved a taste of home. He figured, in a place this laid back, scoring a little something to take the edge off wouldn't be a problem. How wrong he was. Manny, meanwhile, was preparing for yet another exclusive gathering at his beachfront villa. His life was a carefully curated masterpiece of luxury and leisure. The last thing he expected was a call from his cousin Pedro, a small-time hustler who always seemed to attract trouble. Pedro, ever the opportunist, had spotted Jerome's desperation. He saw dollar signs in Jerome's wide eyes and heard opportunity knocking in his broken Spanish. Jerome, longing for something familiar in this foreign land, was an easy target. The transaction was supposed to be quick, a simple exchange under the warm Dominican sun, but fate, it seemed, had other plans. The bustling Calle Duarte, a melting pot of tourists and locals, became the backdrop for their ill-fated encounter. Jerome, clutching a crumpled wad of pesos, nervously scanned the crowd for Pedro. His spidey sense, honed from years of navigating the Bronx, was tingling. Manny, sleek and sophisticated in his linen shirt, arrived at a nearby cafe, oblivious to the drama unfolding just a stone's throw away. He settled in, ready to enjoy his café con leche and a flaky pastelito. Jerome, his internal alarm bells now blaring, realized he'd been duped. The premium herbs Pedro had promised were nothing more than a bag of oregano, probably pilfered from his abuela's kitchen. Frustration surged through him, hot and potent as a shot of mamajuana. He was out $50, stuck with a bag of useless spices and feeling like a grade A sucker. It was time for Plan B: track down Pedro and get his money back. Jerome, fueled by a potent mix of anger and embarrassment, finally caught up with Pedro. The encounter was loud, public, and peppered with enough Spanglish profanity to make a sailor blush. Tourists gawked, locals chuckled, and Manny, sipping his coffee, raised an eyebrow. He recognized the desperation in Jerome's voice, the universal language of someone in way over their head. "Yo, Pedro, you think this is funny, man? This ain't oregano for your abuela's sancocho," Jerome roared, brandishing the bag like a weapon. Pedro, ever the picture of innocence, feigned ignorance. "No comprende, amigo," he shrugged, his gold chains glinting in the sunlight. "Maybe you need better Spanish lessons." Jerome, ready to unleash the fury of 1,000 disappointed Yankee fans, was ready to rumble. But before things could escalate further, a voice cut through the commotion. "Is there a problem here, gentlemen?" The voice, smooth and laced with amusement, belonged to none other than Manny. He surveyed the scene, a knowing smile playing on his lips. Jerome, still fuming, launched into a passionate, if grammatically suspect, tirade about Pedro's treachery. Manny listened patiently, his eyes twinkling with suppressed laughter. Pedro, sensing the shift in power, began to backpedal faster than a crab in a hot sauce factory. He mumbled something about a misunderstanding, a cultural exchange gone wrong. Manny, however, had heard enough. He knew Jerome was in the wrong place at the wrong time, a victim of his own naivete and Pedro's opportunism. Section 6, Lost in Translation, Found in Disdain. Manny addressed Jerome in perfect English, his tone a mix of amusement and mild annoyance. "My friend, let me offer you some advice. This isn't the Bronx. Things work a little differently here." Jerome, deflated and defeated, could only nod. He'd come to the island seeking escape, a break from the familiar. Instead, he'd stumbled headfirst into a cultural clash of epic proportions. Manny, with a wave of his hand and a few clipped words in rapid-fire Spanish, dismissed Pedro. His cousin scurried away, his tail between his legs and Jerome's money suspiciously absent. Manny turned back to Jerome, a glint of something akin to sympathy in his eyes. "Look, consider this a lesson learned, and trust me, you don't want what Pedro's selling anyway." Section 7, Culture Shock and Tropical Punchlines. The encounter on Cala Duarte became a legend, a story Manny recounted at countless rooftop gatherings. He'd embellished the details, of course, transforming Jerome's misadventure into a hilarious cautionary tale about the perils of cultural ignorance. Jerome, initially mortified, eventually learned to laugh at himself. He realized that sometimes the best way to navigate a new culture is with a sense of humor and an open mind. He embraced the Dominican way of life, trading his Yankees cap for a Guayabera shirt and his skepticism for a taste for Presidente beer. He even picked up a few salsa steps, though his moves resembled a confused chicken more than a suave Latin dancer. Section 8, From Concrete Jungle to Open Hearts. As for Manny, he discovered that beneath Jerome's rough exterior was a kind heart and a sharp wit. He introduced Jerome to his world, a world of vibrant art, soulful music, and the kind of hospitality that warmed the soul like a shot of Mama Juana. They formed an unlikely friendship, a testament to the power of shared laughter and mutual respect. Jerome, once lost in the cultural labyrinth, found his footing. He learned that the Dominican Republic wasn't just about beaches and resorts. It was a land of warm people, rich history, and a zest for life that was both intoxicating and inspiring. And Manny, used to the predictable rhythms of his privileged life, found his world subtly enriched by Jerome's down-to-earth humor and refreshing perspective. Section 9. The Bronx Goes Bachata, a Transformation. The story of the Bronx guy and the Dominican playboy became a tale of transformation, a testament to the bridges that can be built when cultures collide. Jerome, the kid from the concrete jungle, found himself dancing bachata under the Dominican stars, his heart lighter than it had ever been. Manny, the man who had it all, discovered the simple joy of genuine connection, a treasure more valuable than all the rum and cigars in the world. Their story was a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected encounters can lead to the most profound transformations. It was a testament to the enduring power of laughter, the beauty of cultural exchange, and the importance of always checking your oregano at the door.